The trailer for Starship Prodigy has just been released, so let's break it down and see what we caught. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host Captain Jack, and let's get right into it. Starship Prodigy is a new kids animated show in the Star Trek universe from Nickelodeon. The show is created by Dan and Kevin Hageman, famous for working on the Lego Movie, Ninjago, and Troll Hunters. Prodigy is all about a motley crew of children who find an abandoned Starfleet ship, and with the help of a Captain Janeway training hologram, they reach out for space and surely get out some crazy adventures. The new trailer was released as a part of the 2021 Star Trek Day celebrations, giving the series an air date of October 28th later this year. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. Hit it. The trailer for Star Trek Prodigy was filled with so much content. Instead of breaking this down chronologically, we're going to group the scenes together and talk about them. Let's get it started. Now let's start with a bridge of the USS Protostar. We saw the bridge in a previous trailer for Prodigy, however we get a much better look in this full-on trailer. The bridge has two aft consoles, a central captain's chair, and two fore consoles. The consoles are holographic, just like that in Star Trek Picard, with the captain's chair having terminals embedded in its chairs. It does look, however, that these holographic terminals are slightly less advanced than that of Star Trek Picard, as these holograms aren't just floating in the air, but are closer to their emitters. This does make sense, as Star Trek Prodigy is set within the year 2383, whereas Picard is set in 2399. The holographic displays are definitely still LCARS in style, and we see some interesting displays from ship navigation to ship layout. Okay, if we're talking about the vehicles in Star Trek Prodigy, we started with the bridge, but we might as well talk about the ship, which is very beautiful. The underside of the saucer section is much larger than I expected, giving it a vertically wide look to the ship. We get some beautiful shots of the Protostar flying in atmosphere through explosions and industrial pipes. The animation in the show looks amazing, and that goes really well with the animation with the starship as well. The rear of the Protostar looks very nice as well. As you can see, there a third nacelle comes out of it, as it's partially visible and not extended. The ship is found abandoned on a mining planet, which is where we'll be starting out with our motley crew. Considering their path of escape in scenes during this trailer, the Protostar is probably deep within the planet, and found by the kids when they're mining, as we see the ship blasting through layers of the planet in an upward trajectory. This does make sense, as in the previous trailer, Dahl, played by Brett Gray, has said there are a lot more stars than I thought, so he could have been deep under the planet's surface for most of his life, mining away. Further supporting this, we have Roktak, played by Riley Ozaki, saying, "How did a ship get inside here?" Which would make sense if the ship is underground and inside a planet. Given the ship's unique, instantaneous transportation method of travel, seen in the opening credits of Star Trek Prodigy, the ship could have emerged inside a planet, similar to how the US Discovery is using the spore drive to transport itself in the cave system on the Klingon homeworld of Kronos. When the ship activates and lights up, we get a good look at where its deflector is and what it looks like. The deflector is actually really slim and is in its usual place underneath the saucer section. The ship also has landing struts, well, a landing strut, as it seems to only have a central one, which seems pretty precarious. As the ship has a cargo bay with a ramp and can fly in atmosphere, it's probably a ship intended to be simply a larger runabout. Maybe the Protostar is a ship intended to explore new worlds and land so that it can simply walk or drive off a ship. Who knows? Right, we're talking about some six-wheelers, and talking of driving, we also see some sort of all-terrain vehicles in this trailer, which is also a nice touch and does look very cool. These vehicles could be in the cargo bay of the Protostar, given the fact it has a ramp into its forward-facing cargo bay, and we see Dahl next to it in another scene, while behind the front-facing cargo bay door. If so, this vehicle could be an upgrade from the Argo Buddy from Star Trek Nemesis. It very much reminds me of the Mako vehicle from Mass Effect. The vehicle seems to be a two-seater and has 6 wheels. We see two different ones of this type, one with the numbers 06 on it and the other with 07 on it. I wonder if there will be as many buggies as Voyager had shuttle pods and torpedoes. And on the shuttles itself, we see Murph, voiced by the great D. Bradley Baker, is in what looks to be a broken Starfleet shuttle. It definitely isn't a buggy, as the buggy has 2 brown leather chairs, but this only has 1 grey leather chair with a Starfleet Delta on it. It is a new variant we haven't seen before. Personally, from what little we can see, the main hull looks quite similar to the angled look of a Yellowstone-class shuttle from Star Trek Online. We get a lot of footage of this mining world, and considering we know that our motley crew is going to escape from this world on the Protostar, we can assume most of these shots are from the early episodes of the season. Unless they have a reason to come back later, it's the Delta Quadrant, it's possible. The planet seems to have multiple layers with conduits running throughout the planet, massive chasms, and massive industrial machinery. We see a lot of workers, but also a lot of robotic drones, which seem to keep the workers in line. Other vehicles can be seen carrying supplies and what seems to be molten metal. I do wonder what they're mining. Dilithium? The surface of the planet seems to have a massive scary looking structure on top, presumably the location where the Diviner resides, letting his workers slave beneath the planet's surface. Okay, let's talk about characters. First up, we have Gwyn, played by Ella Purnell. Seems to be chained up to the captain's chair when the kids first meet the Janeway hologram. Perhaps Gwyn is sent to originally capture these runaway miners by her father, who rules over this planet, but is later convinced to escape with them. We do see a later scene of Gwyn fighting Ruktak, so perhaps she gets captured there. When looking at this scene, with the robotic arms moving these strands of light around, perhaps this could be an industrial replicator of some sort. Maybe to help create the buggies we see in this trailer. That might be cool. Gwyn seems to have a spiral coral-like sword, and in the scene we do not see the root-like structures that are usually shown on her arm. So it could be that her species, Vanokat, have this ability. Though her root-like band on the arm is seen in the next shot while her weapon is out, so maybe it's a simple animation error. This coral-like sword can also be seen on the key art for Starship Prodigy. Okay, Dahl, he seems to take up the role of the leader of the group, deciding to sit in the captain's chair on the starship. We see him also piloting vehicles like a minor hover car and all the all-terrain buggies throughout this trailer, so he seems to be a natural pilot. We also see him later in the trailer and in the key art for Prodigy with a Type 2 phaser, which is very nice. Now Zero, the Medusan, played by Angus Imrie, is capable of floating in his robotic body, which is neat. It seems like he can detach from his legs, so it'd be nice to explore more about Medusans, which first appeared in the original series in Starship Prodigy. Jankon Pog, played by Jason Mazzucas, finds a Starfleet comm badge. The comm badges are of a different design from the comm badges of the time. Perhaps these are used on a ship were unique to the rest of Starfleet, given the prototype nature of the ship itself, with it having an NX registry, which notes that it's a prototype starship. The style of the comm badges has a split delta, but with a bigger groove through the middle. The comm badge can also be seen in the opening of the show itself. Now it's great seeing Janeway in this trailer, and I love she is returning for the show. She can be seen numerous times on the bridge of a ship overlooking the new crew. Just hearing Kate Mulgrew say, "On behalf of Starfleet, welcome aboard," is amazing.
On behalf of Starfleet, welcome aboard.
What is that?
Have you ever even flown a ship before?
No! Does it show?
Disabling gravity.
Okay.
We get a good look at Dreadnought, the Diviner's spider-like robotic minion, voiced by Jimmy Simpson. He has a normal humanoid torso, but spider-like legs, and what seems to be a massive phaser strapped to one of his arms, and sharp claws on the other. Definitely someone you don't want to mess with. Presuming it's the same red beam the Dreadnought fires, the Protostar then does get attacked by Dreadnought himself. And if a beam did originate from him, then damn does that weaponry look powerful, producing a beam that size. Whew. We also see Ruktak and Zero actually fighting against Dreadnought in a blink and you'll miss it scene, where Ruktak throws one of his Scarab drones at Dreadnought, who slices its limbs off with a very sharp claw on his right arm. You can also see Dreadnought in the opening theme of the show as well. The Diviner, played by the great John Noble, can be heard and seen in this trailer. He seems to live in some sort of tank of fluids and has cameras on our motley crew, while they're still in a mining world. We do know that he's the father of Gwyn and that he expects her to continue his legacy, whatever that might be. We do get our first look at the Diviner and he looks like a rage-filled old man, very similar to Drenthor from Lord of the Rings, who John Noble played, which could be the inspiration for the Diviner. He seems like he really wants a USS Protostar, perhaps with its unique faster-than-light propulsion system. I wonder if he knew about the ship before the crew found it, since it seems to be on the planet he controls. Maybe he did know about it, but he just didn't activate for him. Who knows? Now speaking of other details, and we do have some returning details, that being an alien from the Delta Quadrant, the Kazon. This Kazon actually looks pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to what they should expect from him within the show. People have speculated that the hooded alien next to the Kazon is a Cetacean, the feline aliens from the animated series and Star Trek Lower Decks. We already have a lot of Alpha and Beta Quadrant species in the Delta Quadrant for this show, so hopefully there is a reason. Additionally, we can expect actors Robert Beltran and William Rowe Campbell to reprise their original Star Trek characters of Chakotay and Fadi Nonaka respectively. However, the end of the story is unknown as of yet, but I'm really curious to see more of Robert Beltran. Rounding this off, we just have to say, fire the pew 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 button might be the best line of this trailer, and it's definitely something I can see the kids saying when piloting a starship for the first time. Luckily, we do have a release date of October 28th for Star Trek Prodigy. It would debut on Paramount Plus in the US before later airing on Nickelodeon. The show will also be available on the CTV Sci-Fi channel in Canada and Crave, the streaming service. No words on international availability for the show just yet. It very much depends on when Paramount Plus will be coming to international markets. We do know it will arrive in the UK in 2022, so whether they deem it's worth finding an international distributor for Prodigy before then is up in the air, unfortunately. Yes, we all know your pain. As soon as we know where and when Prodigy will air internationally, we'll be sure to let you know. And that was our first full trailer for Star Trek Prodigy. What did you think? Let us know in the comments below. Personally, we really love this trailer and can't wait to see what this offers not only younger viewers and bring them into the Star Trek universe, but older viewers as well, and how this adds to a new flavour to our ever-expanding Star Trek universe. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.